Welcome to Beers and Beards with Matt.
How's everybody doing? This is Matt, another edition of Beers and Beards, a very bright edition of Beers and Beards with Matt. Doing another review outside. It's a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, take my word for it. And but it's hot. It's, I think the temp today, right now it's probably about 92, 93 degrees, so it's a little hot, a little bit of breeze, but nonetheless pretty goddamn hot in South Florida. So, today, I'm going to do a beer review, obviously. Now, this is a very special beer, and it's a very expensive beer as well. Now, this is from the Bruery, which everybody's pretty getting up there in the craft beer world. It's probably one of the better-known craft breweries in the country. They're out of California. Now, this is their first collaboration beer, and they happen to do it with brewery pretty much in my own backyard, or at least my own state of Florida, Cigar City. Now, this is the Bruery and Cigar City collaboration. It is the Marron Acidifie. Acidifie is acidic, and Marron is I don't know. I don't speak French. I don't speak Belgian. So now this is classified as a Flanders Ole Bruin. So it's pretty much a brown Flanders ale. Pretty high in alcohol. There's about 8.5%. Pretty damn good reviews on Beer Advocate. I think it got an A- as an overall out of 67 reviews. And like what I did say, expensive. This beer I picked it up down here. It was $18 for a 26 ouncer. So bigger than a bomber, but still 18 bucks. Probably one of the more expensive beers that I've ever paid for. I think the other expensive beer I paid for was also Cigar City. It was the Hanupu Imperial Stout. And hopefully they'll be brewing that again too, because I'd like to actually do a review of that. I never reviewed it. Now, I'm drinking this out of a pretty much a goblet, smaller goblet. They say well, I don't know if it's goblet, whatever. I'm drinking this out of my Cigar City glass, and they recommend a tulip, a tulip glass, but I didn't want to put the whole beer in the tulip glass, and I said, screw it, let me just go for something a little smaller here. Now, all right, well, even not even putting my nose up to this, you get that vinous, winey, tannic smell to it. Whew. Now this is going to be a Flanders with a bite, because Flanders typically are about 5.5%, 6%. This is 8.5%, so they're packing in the alcohol. A lot of good smells coming out of it. I love the smell of a Flanders style. I don't think there's anything better. Quite a bit of yeast in there too, kind of floating around. This is unfiltered, so there's going to be a lot of stuff. Don't be scared if you get this beer and there's shit floating in it. It's unfiltered. It's a lot of crap floating in it, especially if you're used to Cigar City's beers. All their beers are pretty much unfiltered, except their, I believe the Highlight IPA, the Maduro, but all their bigger beers and bombers are all unfiltered beers. So, without further ado, this is the Marron Acidifie, the collaboration between Cigar City and the Bruery. So, cheers. Ooh. Not very sweet. Pretty sour though. But there is this like, it's a nice sour though. It's like it's probably the most wine-like out of all the Flanders style beers that I've had before. It's got a nice nutty toffee taste to it as well, with some chocolate mixed in. Well, man, that tannic taste to it is, but it's surprisingly smooth. In the beginning, it gets you with the sourness on your throat, smooths out immediately, so the sourness completely dissipates after a quick bit. And being 8.5%, this is drinking like something like at a lower ABV, so well done with the brewing. Balsamic hints to it, very dry vinegar. This is very good. I like it a lot. I mean, you're paying for the quality. I mean, if you're paying 18 bucks for a beer, most of the time it's a pretty damn good beer. And this beer is limited. I think they're only doing a few batches of it. I only picked up one bottle. I need to get up another one. A few days ago, I had a meetup with a Hoggy 4305, Roger. He lives down here in Florida, and we were just sitting at a bar in Fort Lauderdale, drinking beer, having a good time. And the one thing I like to collect a lot of beers, and I'm very apprehensive about drinking beers all the time. That's probably why you don't see me doing a lot of beer reviews all the time, because I don't know what it is. I guess I have something in my head where I feel if I drink a beer, I'm never going to have it again, which is partly my fault. So I should probably buy multiple bottles of it. But it reminded me, it's like you're doing your beer reviews to commemorate you drinking a beer. So you always have that kind of video of you drinking the beer and saying, hey, I've had it. And it was an excellent point. I never really thought of that. That's probably the difference between his viewership and my viewership. I'm sure if I did as many videos and as many good videos as he did, I'd be up where he is. But I appreciate that. Once again, that's Hoggy 4305 down here in Florida. We're pretty much the Florida people on YouTube. There's some other Florida people, but you know, we're pretty good friends. We're getting along pretty well. So shout out to him as always, being a good friend and a fellow beer snob like me. This beer is surprisingly smooth and drinkable, sessionable at 8.5%. I think maybe my palate's just so accustomed to this type of beer that I love it. Slight caramel taste to it, vanilla. There's just a lot going on in this beer. And don't get me wrong, it is sour, but it's not too sour. It's not like the first Flanders style beer I had was the La Folie by New Belgium. That was sour. That was almost like too sour. But this is great. This is well done. I mean, it's got some decent lacing in it. Didn't really have a lot of head to it though, but good carbonation, good just good all around, and kind of a light beer, lighter than a lot of Flanders. Delicious. Well, I don't really finish beers on camera that often. I'm not gonna finish a whole beer. I'm gonna have my glass, of course, but it does get a little dry though. It's like a very dry red wine after a while. So, you know, this is a beer you enjoy, you sip. I'm sure it evolves as it gets warm as well. I'm drinking this out of the fridge. You know, and it warmed up a little bit outside because it is freaking hot out here. So, a little spin. All right, man. That last little bit was sour and dry. All right, so the Marron Acidifie. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. My grade, 2 thumbs up for it. I don't think Bruery could do a better collaboration than a brewery like Cigar City as their first collaboration beer. I don't know who they're going to be working with next. I mean, there's a multitude. Who knows? You might be doing the Bruery and Dogfish Head next. I don't know. It seems like that would make sense. 2 adventurous breweries going hand in hand. But you know, Cigar City also very adventurous as well. So great beer. The style is done very, very well. It's kind of a spin on the Flanders style because they're definitely turning it into a drier, not so sweet, but complex Flanders style. I guess that's why it's a Flanders Ole Bruin. So it's like a brown Flanders. So they're mixing it up a little bit. But if you can find it, pick it up. I don't know what the distribution is on it right now, but if you could pick it up, like I said, I got it down here in Florida for $18. I've heard other people say they got it for $26. So it's expensive. So if you can find it for a good price, check it out. Try to avoid trading or getting on eBay. I know a lot of people are doing that with very limited beers they get on eBay. But if you can find it in your store, pick it up. Pick up 2, pick up 3. You know, if you can afford it, if it's in your budget. So that's about it. The Marron Acidifie, 2 thumbs, way up, good smell, good taste, good everything, sessionable. It does get a little rough at the end, so take your time with this beer, enjoy it, enjoy your money's worth out of it, because it's expensive. So that's about it. I'll be back with another review pretty soon, but it's so hot out here I gotta get back inside, and I will see you guys later, so take it easy.